Okay, in today's video, I want to show you how to merge basically two floors and make them one when you create a 3D model. First, let me go up to 3D and show you what we're working with today. I have 4 sprinkler heads in this office area, and then I have my overhead system here, so it's going to go up to 3D eventually. And I'll click OK on this, and there we go. So we have the overhead sprinkler system. I'll call it our warehouse area, but then we have this little office over to the right hand side that we had to draw to the side. And you can see here we're connecting the two floors. If you notice my crosshairs where they're touching the low pipe versus the high pipe, you can see they do line up, but we just have to find a way to make sure that we can join them into one when we make our persistent model. So I'm going to go back down to 2D, and I'm going to take advantage of this boundaries button up here. And instead of just drawing a boundary, I first want to check this box which says add project base or match point. And right now it says the word base in here, so that means it wants me to add a base point. So I'm going to click insert base point, and I'm going to use column line E4 as my base point, that I-beam there. So I'll shift right click, pick insert, and I'll drop it in right there. And I have to find a matching point, so I'll basically return to that command again. And this time when I check the box, because there's already one base point on there, it knows that the next point that I'm going to click is a match point. So I'm going to click on that. I will click define match window, and it'll ask me what's the first corner of the match window. So basically anything inside of this box is what's going to get moved over to the other system. Once I make that window, we can't see anything right now, but it'll then ask me to pick a match point. So I'm going to make sure that I select the same point, column line E4. So I'll tell it to insert it at the insertion of the I-beam. And there we go. So now anything inside of this yellow box will get moved. All the piping will get moved over to where it lines up on the main drawing here. All right, so I'm going to hit save. And then now I'll make a 3D model. So show 3D. Everything looks good. And now the only difference is I want to make sure that all of this stuff moves over to there. So I'm going to select this button here called Move Model. And I've already denoted the base points by dropping these markers in over here. So I just have to go to step 2, which is Move Model. I'll click on that. And what happens is you'll see that our pipe goes there. So I'm going to layer isolate this pipe layer. And so if you have lock and freeze turned on, I just installed AutoCAD 2024, and by default I like layer isolate to turn off everything, not lock and freeze the other layers. So I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to Control Z or undo, or I could have selected layer unisolate, and I'm going to pick the layer isolate command again, and I'm going to tell it that instead of I'm going to go to the settings of that, and instead of locking and fading layers, I'm going to just turn those layers off. So I'll click on that or turn off the other layers. And then this next command is also the same. It's off, so I'll click on off again. And then now I can tell it which layers I want to isolate. So I'll isolate my hydropipes layer, and there we go. So now we can see just that, and I'm going to orbit around, and you can see that it has now moved my pipe so that it all lines up. So our next step here is to then go to Navis Tools, and I'm going to click here. I will export to Navis. The export is complete. And I'm in a drawing called Boundary Match Point. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'll select my drawing called Boundary Match Point dash Persistent Model. I'll click on that. It zooms as if there's nothing there, but if I double click my wheel to zoom extents, I get that. And now if I orbit around, I will see. Now, because I'm orbiting, I can't see the vertical pipes, but if I exit out of that, then there we go. So there we go. We can see the pipes in all their glory. So everything's connected, and that's all there is to it to use the Move Model command. All right, hope this helps, and thank you for watching.